Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful tools in a writer's toolkit when it comes to immersing readers in your story world and keeping them hooked on every page. I'm talking about point of view, the magical lens through which your readers will experience your characters, your plot, and your themes. Have you ever been so utterly transported by a book that you forgot you were even reading words on a page? Like you were living and breathing right alongside the protagonist, seeing the world through their eyes and feeling every twist and turn of their journey in your bones. On the flip side, have you ever felt weirdly detached from a story, even though the plot was action-packed and the characters were fascinating on paper? Chances are the point of view played a huge role in shaping those reading experiences, for better or worse. In this video, we're going to explore exactly how the POV you choose can make or break your reader's connection to your story. We'll break down the different effects and experiences that various POVs can create, from fostering deep empathy to building nail-biting suspense to illuminating your story's themes in a whole new light. And I'll share some of my favorite strategies for wielding POV like a pro, so you can transport your readers into the heart of your story world and keep them utterly spellbound. First up, let's talk about how POV can be a secret weapon for forging an unbreakable bond between your reader and your characters. When you write in a close perspective like first person or deep third, you're essentially inviting the reader to slip into your protagonist's skin, to see and feel and interpret the world through their unique filter. It's an incredibly intimate experience, one that can foster a bone-deep sense of empathy and identification. Just look at a book like The Catcher in the Rye. J.D. Salinger's masterful use of first-person POV puts us directly inside Holden Caulfield's head, privy to his every unfiltered thought and observation. We don't just sympathize with Holden's alienation and angst. We live it through his distinctively jaded, tender, wise beyond his years voice. Even as we recognize Holden's flaws and biases, that first-person closeness makes him feel like an old friend, someone we instinctively root for and care about. So if you really want readers to form an emotional attachment to your characters, consider employing a POV that erases the distance between them. Let us into your characters' inner world, their private hopes and fears and idiosyncrasies. Filter the story through their one-of-a-kind perspective, so we can't help but be swept up in their journey. On the flip side, a more remote POV like omniscient third can be a great tool for creating a sense of context or even irony around your characters. By pulling the camera back, so to speak, you give readers a wider view of your story world and the players in it. You can offer insights and observations that your characters themselves might not have, foreshadow future events, even play with the contrast between a character's self, perception, and how others see them. When you're deciding on your story's POV, think carefully about the nature of the relationship you want to create between your reader and your characters. Do you want to foster unmediated access to their innermost selves? Maintain more of an outside perspective, with room for context and interpretation? Somewhere in between? Let your POV choices flow from the emotional experience you want to create. Another key aspect of POV is how it shapes your reader's emotional journey through the story. The perspective you choose can be a powerful tool for manipulating your reader's reactions, keeping them on the edge of their seat, never quite sure what to expect or whom to trust. And is there anything more delicious than a book that keeps you guessing until the very last page? For a masterclass in using POV to create emotional whiplash, look no further than Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The book starts out alternating between the first-person accounts of Nick and Amy Dunn, a married couple whose relationship is not what it seems. Through their conflicting perspectives, we get a sense that someone is lying, but we're not sure who or why. As the story unfolds and new information comes to light, our allegiances keep shifting. One chapter, we're convinced Nick is a murderous sociopath. The next, we're sympathizing with his side of the story and suspecting Amy of foul play. It's dizzying, disorienting, and completely riveting. By using unreliable first-person narrators and strategic reveals, Flynn keeps us emotionally off balance and invested in unraveling the truth. That's the power of a well-crafted POV. It can make readers feel like participants in the story, not just passive observers. We become detectives trying to parse truth from lie, heroes or villains depending on whose head we're in. So, when you're plotting out your story's emotional arc, consider how your POV might tilt the scales one way or another. A limited perspective can create tension by concealing key facts from readers. An omniscient one can set up dramatic irony, where we know more than the characters do. Getting creative with your POV choices can help you put readers through their emotional paces in the best possible way. POV can even shape how readers grasp your story's deepest themes and meanings. The perspective through which we encounter the narrative will inevitably color our understanding of its events and implications. And, as the writer, you can use that to your advantage to underscore the ideas you really want to hit home. When you're considering your POV choices, think about how they might subtly, or not so subtly, guide your reader's interpretation of your story's events and themes. A child narrator can create a sense of innocent wisdom, revealing society's flaws through fresh eyes. A first-person POV from a villainous character might force readers to grapple with questions of empathy and redemption. An omniscient perspective could underscore themes of fate, free will, and the interconnectedness of human lives. The right POV can add a whole extra layer of meaning to your narrative tapestry. And hey, who says you have to stick to the well-trod POV paths? Some of the most groundbreaking, unforgettable books out there have used unconventional perspectives to create wholly unique reading experiences. Take Bright Lights, Big City, by Jay McInerney. The entire novel is written in second person, casting you, the reader, as the protagonist of this gritty, glittering tale of 1980s New York excess and ennui. You are not the kind of guy who would be at a place like this at this time of the morning. But here you are, and you cannot say that the terrain is entirely unfamiliar, although the details are fuzzy. That direct address makes the story feel immersive, almost confrontational, like it's implicating you in the narrator's cocaine-fueled downward spiral. You're not just watching this character self-destruct, you're living it, choice by choice, and that intimacy makes the emotional impact all the more gutting. Or you could play with telling different parts of your story from different characters' perspectives to create a prismatic, multifaceted story experience. In Gone Girl, those dueling husband-wife accounts set up one kind of narrative, but a sudden shift to a third perspective late in the book upends everything we thought we knew. In The Sound and the Fury, William Faulkner tells the story of the Compson family through 4 distinct sections, each narrated by a different family member, creating a kind of cubist portrait of a family's dissolution. So, don't be afraid to get playful and experimental with your POV. Brainstorm unexpected perspectives that might cast your story in a whole new light. An unreliable narrator, a collective first-person plural, even an animal or inanimate object as storyteller, the sky's the limit. The most memorable books are often the ones that make us see the world in surprising new ways. At the end of the day, POV is one of the most powerful tools we have as writers to shape our readers' experience. And I really do mean experience, because that's what reading is at its best. It's not just a mental exercise, but a visceral journey that transports us out of our own lives and into someone else's heart and mind and world. And the POV choices we make as storytellers have everything to do with how immersive and emotionally resonant that journey will be for our readers. So, to recap, when you're weighing your story's ideal POV, consider, how do you want readers to connect to your characters? A close POV for deep identification, or a distant one for context and exploration. What kind of emotional experience do you want to create? Suspense, empathy, uncertainty, dramatic irony. Let your POV choices heighten that journey. How can your POV subtly underscore your story's central themes and ideas? Are there perspectives that could add new shades of meaning to your narrative? Don't be afraid to experiment with unconventional POVs that could make your story stand out and linger in readers' imaginations. Whatever POV you choose, the key is to wield it with intention and precision, always with your reader's experience at the forefront of your mind. Put as much thought into your story's perspective as you do any other element of your craft, and watch how it can deepen and enrich every aspect of your storytelling. And if you really want to take your writing skills to the next level and support this channel in the process, I've poured my heart into creating an immersive online course that covers everything from crafting unforgettable characters to structuring a page, turning plot to fine, tuning your prose, and much more. Look in the description for more information.